Tonight I'm here with Koku and we are going to talk about a number of things. But first of all, I'd like to pick his thoughts on what has been trending all day, the size of President Akufo-Addo's government. Koku, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nanaba.
All right, so it will be quite unacceptable if I don't speak your thoughts on that, since that is what is trending today.
Well, you're looking good.
Thank you very much.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, that's true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. I hope you've been well, though.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, opposition has a way of relaxing you.
So you're relaxing. You're just chilling.
Not chilling, but relaxed.
Relaxed.
While we still are working very hard to reorganize and rebuild the party.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So let's start off with the size of President Akufo-Addo's government, 110.
I'm not surprised, Nanaba. Nothing President Akufo-Addo does surprises me. It's very much in their DNA. If you reel back into history and the kinds of things they said about Kwame Nkrumah when they had the opportunity between 69 and 72 before the Champon coup, they did worse than Nkrumah did between being prime minister and then becoming president in 57 before the 66 coup. So nothing surprises me. And I am happy that President Akufo-Addo is doing what he's doing because it's obvious that it's a one-term government. Nana Akufo-Addo is very much aware that he's going to be president for one term.
How so?
And he must satisfy everybody.
How so?
But he must satisfy everybody. He's not going to be a two-term president. So in one term, let me expand government. Let me just get everybody on board. And then when I have done one term, unlike President Kufuor, who did two terms, at least from a populist propaganda perspective, what they will say is, oh, Nana Akufo-Addo.
This is your assumption.
That's my, yes. Nana Akufo-Addo will buy a crown or my 110 ministers. President Kufuor, my 88 as a 90 something.
So it is the party foot soldiers who will be happy with him.
Exactly. He's just appealing to his party.
Okay, so this is your assumption.
And then again, when you look at the fact that he has wiped off his front line in parliament, a number of his the MPP's frontliners in parliament, the chairman of most of the committees, have now been roped into the executive because he continues to import more ministers from outside. And per the constitution, there must always be a balance. Now, what is happening is that the people who are in parliament are also saying that, look, you can't continue to bring people from outside, make them ministers, and after 4 years, they will be getting some huge ex gratia. We too, we want our stake in it. So I am not surprised. In fact, if he appoints even 200 ministers, I will not be surprised.
Okay, but I'm not sure if you've listened to the information minister.
Now, I've listened to him.
Okay,
Mustafa Amin says that they didn't promise a lean government.
In fact, they didn't.
But you see,
President Akufo-Addo never talked about a lean government or a fat one.
In all humility, I worked as head of communications of the presidency for President Mills. May his good soul rest and rest and rest in perfect peace. When you're communicating to the public and you say, we didn't promise a lean government. Oh, yeah? You promised us free SHS. You promised us a stabilization of the currency. You promised us removal of taxes. Those ones you promised us. How come you are not sticking to your promises? This one you didn't promise us, we agree. But so you are going to...
But he promised free SHS.
No, so you're going to...
He's talked about it.
No,
implementation starts later this year.
So you're going to pay attention to the things that you didn't promise more than the things that you promised?
How has he done that?
That's what the information minister is telling us, that they didn't promise a lean government. And that to the extent that they can bloat the government wage bill, big deal.
But for the things he promised, he needs men and women to execute them, doesn't he?
He needs men and women. That's why I'm saying that left to me, if he appoints 300 ministers, it won't worry me. The truth of the matter is that within 4 years, or in fact in the last 2-3 months, Nanaba, if you look at the cry of the people, taxi drivers who are crying about petroleum price increment, because you said that within a short term of your getting into government, that will go out.
Well, he didn't give us a timeline.
You go and do a populist thing about Kaya taxes. Nobody went to the floor of parliament and put in place Kaya taxes. Kaya levies, and let me use the appropriate word, levies, are not part of the consolidated fund. We don't use Kaya levies to pay salaries. Kaya levies don't go into other things. So if we have a decentralized system where we are allowed to generate levies at the grassroots, and you come and sit in parliament after talking about your family tree and who you are as Ken Oforiatta, which is the first time we are seeing that, and you go into a populist binge about removal of Kaya taxes. Now, other traders in the markets are saying that if the Kaya will not pay levies, will also not pay levies. So you have opened up Pandora's box. Okay,
let me ask you this about the efficiency or otherwise of a big government. We have had lean governments. You would say comparatively you had a leaner government.
Exactly.
We're looking at efficiency now. If you had a lean government but Ghanaians feel that you did not do enough for them in 8 years, and they say that, okay, now a big one may do the job, because we're looking at the delivery as well.
You see, when it comes to the size of government, Ghanaians don't have a say. Ghanaians have a say based on what you promised. Look, in the heady days of the revolution, Anaba, talking about 81, 82, 83, 84, when President Rawlings came in, the PNDC days, ask yourself, how many PNDC secretaries did you have? When you had the Atua Hoys, the Kwesia Hoys, the Totobi Kwachis, in those heady days, the PVO beings, how many were they? But they managed to move us out of that, you know, that mud of, you know, governance stalling into a much organized Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah, when he sought independence for us, when he fought for independence, how many ministers did he have to construct Akosombo Dam, to construct the Temamoto Way, to construct all the things that they gave us?
Dynamics have changed,
now,
haven't they?
I agree, dynamics have changed. Now you ask yourself that if dynamics have changed, and we are in a technological age, wouldn't the reasoning be that in the age of technology, we must be downsizing? I will not say, but look, information ministry, 1 minister, 3 deputies. For me, as a communications person, it just tells me that there's going to be a lot of misinformation. So you need 1 minister and his 3 deputies to continue to see how they can manage the misinformation. It doesn't come in.
You are now giving them their job description.
I wish I could help them.
You wish you could.
Meanwhile, you have Ijinai in there at the presidency, who already has cut a wrong and negative teeth for himself. But you're having Mustafa Hamid tell Ghanaians and the taxpayers that we did not promise you a lean government. How did Eugene do that? Oh, all the press releases and the grammatical errors and all the things that are coming out. But he's a young chap. I mean, it would be unfair on my part to be dealing with Eugene. He's a young chap. Let's allow him to be there. But I'm talking about Mustafa Hamid telling us that you did not promise a lean government. So to help the Ghanaians, to help the taxpayers. Well, he didn't say that. We will spend your money as much as we want to. He didn't say that. Now that's the interpretation. That is how you interpret it. Yes, you are allowed to. You are allowed to, but don't also try and misinform Ghanaians, because that's not what he said. Madam. Yes. Nanaba. Yes. If I call you madam, you'll be offended. But Nanaba, when a minister for information says that we did not promise you a lean government, so allow us to bloat. Because there were comparisons being made that there were NDC, the argument is that there were NPP communicators who were always criticizing the John Mahama administration of having a bloated administration. Exactly. So they are saying that we never talked about a lean government. We never promised the lean government. That's his response to that. You labeled the past government as incompetent. And that was the vice president's mantra at the time, Dr. Baumia. Incompetence, 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 incompetence. That's it. Every other day. Did it hurt you? Every other day he was at the Alisa Hotel. And he was talking about incompetence. Arresting the dollar. I mean, the cedi's decline. And he actually even projected that by the end of 2016, the cedi was going to be at 5 cedis to the dollar. It's interesting and amazing that in his tenure as vice president, head of the economic management team, we now have 5 cedis, a new 5 cedi note, which is at par with the dollar. So I'm sure today he has what he wanted the cedi to be. And he's in Mauritius. Working. Working for who? Working for Ghanaians. Talking about how beautiful the Ghanaian economy can be, how economies must be built. We are begging him. the lecture days are over. Come home, His Excellency the Vice President, come and arrest the decline
He's
of the
actually
city.
back in Ghana.
Oh, he's back?
Yes, he's
Wonderful.
back in Ghana.
Let's meet at the Elixir Hotel, maybe next week.
Yes,
and then
he
we can
has
talk about the dollar.
a session there.
Besides, he has other lingering issues.
Okay.
About the Togolese register. That one, he hasn't finished that one yet.
All right, let's move away from this because I've picked your thoughts enough on the size of government. Let's talk about the NDC. You raised the issue of incompetence. Did that word hurt you a lot?
Oh, Nanaba.
Because it was drummed.
Oh no. They did a good job of it. And not because, for me, as a national executive, Dr. Bawumia and the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, using the word incompetence. For me, if you do the analysis, over 1 million of our voters, our supporters, did not come out to vote for us. That's healthy. It means we can reach out to them and do the bridge building. And that's why we have the Professor Kwesi Botwe committee in place. And we are beginning to do the bridge building. The feedback is good. People are being allowed, to speak and say what it is that went wrong.
What are they saying?
Oh, there's a lot that is being said. But to the extent that we have the committee in place, and national executives decided that we will not be part of the committee for good reason, and awaiting the report, I think that it will not be proper on my part to go ahead of the Kwesi Botwe committee and put out anything. But for me, we have a healthy base that did not vote for us for X, Y, Z reasons.
Okay, but without interfering with the work of the committee, why do you think, especially your fan base or your support base in the Volta region, most of them decided not to come out?
Well,
what do you think went wrong?
If I want to go deep into that issue,
you can scratch the surface and give me a fair idea.
Well, yes. Let's just say that we didn't communicate well. We didn't reach out well on certain issues.
But you're a communicator. An excellent one at that.
Nanaba, you see, like I'm saying, you are, don't be naughty.
Oh.
You are forcing me into an area where I don't want to go to because the issues are wide and varied. Anyway, thanks for the compliment. When I worked for President Mills in opposition, as his communications person, and how we got into power, we did well. Moving forward, titles and roles changed. So we are in a position now. Like I'm saying, I will not skate on such thin ice.
Is your party imploding?
No, it's not. People have a right to speak out and speak to the issues. But for us, and like my General Secretary did this morning on
Star FM.
On Star FM, and let me congratulate Star FM, the EIB group. You've done a wonderful job in terms of building your or carving a niche for yourself. I was an ultimate and a Busia in Kumasi during the campaign. I think you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
But back to the substantive issue. We are not imploding. What is happening is that we have a political party that is allowing people to speak their mind as of now. Now, in the early stage, my boss, the General Secretary, is the one who said, Koku, when people go into an election and they lose, primaries, whatever, in the first 3 months, 4 months, when they have lost, allow them to say so many things, but don't hold it at heart, because the defeat has a way of opening up a lot of anger.
When did he say this to you?
Oh, it's something that he keeps saying.
So then why did you have a go at Joyce Bauer?
I did not have a go at Joyce Bauer.
Okay. What happened?
Anaba, she granted an interview.
On Star FM?
Yeah, to Bolare. She's allowed to, as all NDC members are allowed to. Now, the follow-up report that came out in the media was that the spokesperson of the NDC had gone out to say X, Y, Z, specifically that, being in the position for 8 years is not a bother. That was the story that came out. Now, the General Secretary, who has just been elected one of the vice presidents of Socialist International, was away on official assignment in Ouagadougou. I happen to be running the secretariat as the acting General Secretary. scores of people, calls, a deluge, Koku, GS, Deputy GS, is it true that you have appointed a spokesperson? Is it true that the spokesperson has been allowed to go and say that we will be in opposition for 8 years? Remember, as a responsible acting general secretary, all I did was to say that, hold on, the story that says that Ms. Bauer is the spokesperson of the NDC is untrue. She is not. And that we as elected executives are busy working on the ground, reorganizing, rebuilding. We believe that Akufo-Addo is going to be there for only 4 years and we'll be back. And that the lady was a spokesperson for the campaign team. The campaign is over and she now is supposed to be an aide to the former president, President Mahama, His Excellency. Now, per our party constitution, once you go into opposition, the leader of the party becomes the national chairman of the party until such a time that we elect a new flag bearer. So I'm only putting out party position that, look, she went on some personality profile program. She went and had fun and said a few things, but she does not speak on behalf of the party. It was no banter at all. And I just set the record straight.
But did you see the reports that came out after?
Oh, the news
Yes.
stuff. Oh, I mean, that's the business of the media, seeking to knock heads, but subsequently heads have not been knocked.
You're okay with her?
Oh, come on, heads
You've
have
spoken.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And now a few things as well. You say you don't want to go into the detail because the committee is working, but were you surprised when you realized that indeed you hadn't taken a comfortable lead?
Anaba.
Why did you even think that you had taken a comfortable lead? Did you at any point take a comfortable lead?
As we speak now, that's the beauty of statistics. You've done 100+ constituencies, and your stats tell you that you're in a comfortable lead. There are other variables. Now, at the time that I held that press conference, it was because the youth wing of the MPP was busy making noise and threatening to create mayhem. They said they had numbers and trying to filibuster and cajole and force the EC commissioner to declare results. Now, my position at the time was that we also were crunching numbers. And having crunched numbers of about 100 constituencies plus, we were 50% plus. But don't forget that we are dealing with 275 constituencies.
I got information from someone within your party that indeed, at the time you were holding that press conference, you had received results from only 2,300 polling stations because the system you used had broken down.
No. Whoever told you may have been using another system. The system that we were using, and I was the head of operations, as of course I'm Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations. The system that we were using had given us 100+, and we were in a comfortable lead of 50+. And I didn't say we were in a comfortable lead of 60-70% Anaba. Subsequently, the variables changed. And then you heard the EC boss say that, look, some hacking had taken place, some other things had happened. So variables changed. President Mahama went ahead and conceded defeat. The EC chair came up, declared results on the 9th of December.
Were you surprised
about
the defeat?
I will not say I wasn't surprised.
In such shocking numbers.
But the beauty, exactly, it hasn't happened before.
But considering how much you had pumped into this election.
In terms of my energy, yes. In terms of the energy of the foot soldiers, yes.
Money?
That one I'm not too sure.
But you were Deputy General Secretary, so you would know exactly how much was spent.
At least I remember making a lot of forays into the Volta region.
Okay.
To go and debunk the fact that Dr. Bawumia was claiming that Volta region was full of Togolese. That much energy I pumped in. And to date, Dr. Bawumia, so between he and President Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo was in the US or in Europe saying that our voters register had become an ECOWAS register and that they were not going to use it. Dr. Bawumia claimed that Togolese were on the register. Today, is it Togolese who voted for President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia?
Okay, we'll look at that. We'll look at that in a bit.
But let me just... Okay, fine, please.
I want to bring back your comfortable lead soundbite. I'm sure you missed it. Have you watched it?
I keep watching it and I smile.
Let's watch it. I want to see the smile on your face.
Churning out figures and trying to bamboozle Ghanaians. But those figures are wrong figures. They are fake figures. We are doing our analysis, and President Mahama is leading Akufo-Addo. I want to assure our supporters and Ghanaians that President Mahama is in a comfortable lead as far as the presidential vote is concerned.
Okay. Comfortable lead.
Comfortable.
It's a very popular. I actually like using it.
I hear there's a movie now, and a lawyer friend of mine was telling me maybe I should go and patent it. Comfortable lead,
yeah.
And then own the rights. All rights reserved.
Okay, so when you realized eventually that indeed it wasn't such a comfortable lead, how did you feel? Did you feel you had to come back and apologize to all of us for telling us that you had taken any comfortable lead? Or because you had the numbers, we
had the numbers.
Sure.
We were crunching numbers. At the point I held the press conference, like I said, it was in response to the MPP's attempt to just move on to the streets and misbehave. But subsequently, the leader of our party, President Mahama, conceded defeat. Now, once the leader did that, flanked by the chairman and the general secretary, we all conceded defeat.
Was it painful?
Yeah, it was painful. Certainly not. I mean, certainly it was painful. We thought we were going to win. We thought we had done enough to win the mandate of the electorate.
Okay, so
but if you go back now onto the ground, post-election, and the beautiful thing about is that...
So then you were not listening to the people on the ground?
No, hold on. The beautiful thing is that, unlike the MPP, that decided not to concede defeat post-2008, we did. And we've told our people...
Because, I mean, for the margin, there was no way you could contest that.
I agree.
Okay.
But then again, as a responsible political party, we had to accept.
You're saying the NPP is not responsible?
Well,
you could have gone to court. That option was also available. That is what a responsible party does.
A responsible party accepts. Goes back onto the ground.
After the petition, Nana Addo accepted. He conceded. He accepted.
After 8 months of trying to deceive
he had a right to go to court. He was not happy. He was not happy with it. He went to court.
In 2004, when the late Jake Obechebelamte declared the results at the Castle Gardens, may he so rest in peace, President Mills, may he so rest in peace, had the opportunity to also go to court. But he didn't.
Well, that was his choice.
So it's about choices.
Yes, but you cannot say that because they did that, it makes them irresponsible. It doesn't make them irresponsible. Well, there was an option, they explored that option.
But they went to court without any evidence, any hard evidence. These same people, when I heard the president...
They didn't go with any hard evidence.
What evidence? When Dr. Baumia at the time, pink sheet, you and I there, you and I were not there, you and I were not there. It was a bundle of embarrassment. Now, we will not go to court. We've accepted. We've handed over to President Akufo-Addo. And today, this is where we are. You see, then I listened to the president post 60th Independence Day celebration. All the controversy that he generated about Ghana's history. Then I'm listening to him early this week. For the president to say that as a politician, it is good to deliberately court controversy. And I ask myself, wow.
Okay.
This is very Machiavellian. So the president deliberately sought to distort the history of Ghana to court controversy.
How did he distort the history of Ghana? Which part of history did
When the president seeks to put J.B. Dankwa ahead of Nkrumah, and says that we must have a conversation, and this was the State of the Nation address.
Because for a very long time, we've been talking about Founders Day. So if he says, let's have a conversation, how has he distorted history?
Let's go back. The president says that 5 people began the UGCC, and then Nkrumah joined.
Is that true or false?
Nkrumah didn't join the UGCC.
What did he do?
The UGCC went to recruit Nkrumah.
So he joined?
He didn't join. They recruited him. Now, Nkrumah had stature and clout.
Recruited,
that is why...
joined.
No, please, hold on. And the UGCC was not a political party. The first ever political party in Ghana was the CPP. The UGCC was an elitist movement supported by power grants Association of West African Merchants, AWAM. They had money, and they were seeking some form of collaborative political power with the colonial forces. Today in Ghana, when you say AWAM, what does it mean? 419, Azan.
On that note, let's take a first break. We'll come back and talk about the 2020 elections. Stay with us.